Hey, what's up guys? This is Brian at WhisperStatus74. Welcome to the community, welcome to the channel. This is the first time you are seeing me. Please consider liking and subscribing. We are Real Tech for Real People. Today's video is a sneak peek preview at the currently unreleased Samsung Qled Neo Mini LED Flagship Q900A. 85 inches borderless design, courtesy of Value Electronics from Scarsdale, New York. Special thank you to both Robert and Wendy. And Robert will actually be introducing the panel in a few minutes, and then we'll do some demo material and talk about the design and the features once we're done interviewing Robert. It is very generous of them to have us in their store. Very good for our community, as I'm able to see panels even a few weeks before they launch. The Q900A is not available just yet. Last year we had the 950H about a month before launch, same as the A9S Master Series. I was actually able to bring both of those home, so it is amazing. And again, very special thanks to Robert and Wendy for their kindness and generosity. And we'll also have some other panels brought home this year as well, probably the X95J and some others. Without further ado, here is Robert Zohn.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Hello everyone, we are here with Robert Zohn of Value Electronics. I have discussed this store many times, and I also covered it in the intro. So without further ado, Robert, tell me what we have here today.
Thank you very much, Brian, and thank you all who are visiting and watching today. This is Samsung's 2021 flagship TV. It's an 8K resolution. It's called a Neo Qled. It's an 85-inch. It is a mini LED technology. This is the first year that Samsung is producing a mini LED television. So what that means is it's a backlight LED, but it has thousands of local dimming zones instead of hundreds. It has more LED lights as well. And this one is a quantum dot. So quantum dots, instead of using colored filters, generate the red, green, and blue colors through a quantum dot that actually changes the frequency of the light. So it's not a filter. A filter would dim the light a little bit and not be as accurate. So you have better color accuracy and you have better color saturation with a quantum dot technology. This has an ambient light rejecting filter and an anti-glare filter. It also has a wide viewing filter on it, so it's good for high ambient light. It's a bright TV that has very good blacks. And at retail, it is $89.99, a dollar less than $9,000 in an 85-inch. They make this model, the Q900A, in a 75-inch at $69.99, and they make it in a 65-inch at $49.99. So there's three sizes, and they go up $2,000 for each screen size. We're one of the first dealers to get them. On Samsung's website, they're saying available May 6th, but right now we're at March 20.
Full month and a half, we'll take it.
April 6th, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So we're 2 weeks earlier than what you will find most dealers offering this TV. Some of the most amazing things is it has literally like no bezel on the edge. I've never seen a TV have literally come right to the edge with the image, with no black border. It's a very elegant all-picture format.
I can't even film it because I can't even find it.
Yeah, it's non-existent. It goes right to the edge of the image.
Now, I'll remind our viewers that as I started the video, I'm off angle, so the image is washed out due to the camera.
Right. Always in person, these TVs will always generate a better picture than what the sensor of a
it's just my aperture as I'm off angle, but
you bet.
it is a gorgeous display. We have the center stand.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show the One Connect box as well after, Robert. We'll show that at the end. Actually, no, we do have it underneath, don't we?
Yeah, we put the One Connect box over here on top of the Marantz
the One Connect.
2-channel amp.
The One Connect is definitely sleeker than it was before.
Yeah. And the One Connect has USB. It has 4 HDMI inputs on it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this supports eARC. It It has the filmmaker mode they added this year as well. It has a new processor for up conversion. So they're doing a nice job with advancing up conversion of particularly low grade like cable content. And I'm very happy to see mini LEDs come to fruition. I'm very optimistic for it. I'm sure we'll see some enhancements throughout the year as we get more and more firmware updates. But right now, out of the box, we're enjoying this TV. It's nice to see a screen size this large when you have the 8K resolution on an 85-inch TV with smaller pixels that are more densely packed. You'll enjoy up conversion with a very nice clean look without a lot of anomalies in the image. And so bravo to Samsung for development and enhancing the technologies year after year.
They are pushing 8K forward. They were the first.
They are indeed.
And just for context, we have our seating position. Robert has these seats here. We are probably only about 7 feet away.
Yes, that's correct. I think it's about 7.5 feet for an 85-inch, which is the recommended viewing distance for an 85-inch television.
Excellent, Robert. So we're going to shoot the display. Any parting messages from you, Robert?
So they also make one step down the Q900A series that is has a little bit less local dimming zones and is not as bright and has one step down on the processor for an appreciable cost savings. Also available in 65, 75, and 85-inch.
Which you also have in the store today behind us.
Yes, which we do as well.
Yeah, we'll show that when it's on display.
And we also make mini LED in 4K resolution in various screen sizes. So it's a very broad line this year, along with their regular product line. I like that they put the stand very small and in the center, so you don't have to have a big table to support this.
Yeah, and it's pretty solid on that stand.
Yeah,
for
it is
such
very stable.
For such a large display.
Yes, it is. So I don't think we're doing Q&A right now, right?
No, we're just gonna say
filming.
that we're just filming and talking about just that 8K is here to stay. Obviously,
yes, 8K is here to stay and moving on up every year, getting better and better. But it's nice to have the density and the small pixel size. When you get a screen this big. That's where it really comes in. Or if you have a smaller screen and you get up close to it.
Yeah. Well, for many of us, we know in the community that the pixel density on smaller displays always yields a sharper image.
Yes.
8K gives us that pixel density at a large size.
Very well said. Thanks to you. Said it much better than I did.
No, stop. It's just that it allows us to have that sharp image. You can see as the camera does focus how clean it is.
Yeah.
Samsung known for their clean image.
Indeed.
So we'll shoot the Q800 when it's on at some point.
We'll have that next week, the Q800 series,
Excellent, Robert.
800A.
Robert, I will ask you one question. Are you excited for the LG Qled line as well?
I am, and I'm very anxious to put them side by side.
Yeah, we'll have them.
To see what differences we can see with the two different companies with mini LED, 8K, and 4K. And we'll have both of those models in our TV shootout evaluation this year.
Excellent.
Which is likely to be the first week of September, by the way.
Oh, excellent. Beautiful. All right, Robert. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for doing this again.
My pleasure. Community loves you. And we'll see you guys. I'll do a wrap up later on, and we'll talk about it.
Very good. Thanks so much again.
My pleasure.
All the best.
All right, guys. Here we are doing the follow-up commentary. We'll go over the design and my early impressions. It is a very sleek panel. It feels a little bit slimmer than last year's 900TS and 950TS. It may not be, though, but the bezel-less design is gorgeous and intact. You notice last year's Samsungs, even though they weren't mini LED yet, they were still much more streamlined and slim than the Sony Z8H. We have the center stand, which Robert discussed, is very sturdy for such a large panel. It does not wobble. And why it's so valuable to have someone like Robert for a community like ours, especially at our size, is that you will not see 8K flagships thoroughly reviewed by many publications, let alone other small YouTubers such as myself, due to their size and expense. So to have him be able to discuss it with us, introduce it, and then we will come back and both Jonathan and Robert will do a review on it. That blackness you see come in, you'll see it throughout the image, is basically trying to capture 8K with a 4K camera. It does struggle. There's the one connect box there. Again, the expense and the size of these displays, it's not really practical to bring these home and to have them reviewed. And due to their expense, it's hard to expect even large publications to be able to thoroughly review them. We've seen that in the past. So it really is a gift. You would not typically see us put, there's the center stand. It is very sturdy, very thick, has a kind of a industrial feel to it, bezel-less. But you would not typically see the one connect box sitting on top of a receiver. We would not put equipment on top of each other. Again, very thin. And it does look very good off angle in terms of its color reproduction. You will notice blooming off angle. And that blackness again is just my camera and its aperture trying to capture 8K. It only comes up with certain demos. I imagine it's their frame rate versus the frame rate I'm filming at. We can tell by it's got Samsung's colors in there. Show you a little bit of the menu. It's very similar to Samsung menus of the past. The settings, you have your typical presets, natural, standard, movie, dynamic. There is a filmmaker mode this time. The settings themselves are very much the same. They did add a shadow detail slider, which I thought I had filmed, but we will definitely go back and film it again for the review. Now here we're in the back of the panel. You can see we have the one connect cord there. Everything else is solid. And you have these speakers. I'm not sure what the wattage is on them. And quickly to the front of the store, showing you the 800 series. The step-down version is there. And then you did a quick look at the panels that were there. Now we're back to the 900A with a ZX next to it.
You don't have to spend much money on the cable. You know, well, how long?
And there's a CX in the corner. And actually the A90J is behind.
Oh, that's good.
Now we're going to go down and check out the one connect box. You have 4 HDMI 2.1 cables, your USB. You also have an Ethernet, eARC, and there's also a digital optical. Again, it's the size of like a PlayStation. It's very thin, but it's very flat, and it's rather large. It feels premium though. Has a granular feel on the top of it. What's interesting was the HDMI 2.1 spec was actually hard to find. It wasn't really labeled. It's labeled as HDMI 2.1 4, as having 4 of them versus labeling one as HDMI 2.1 as they have in the past. The Q900R had one port that said 8K on it, so I believe all 4 here. What it does have this year, I will say, it has Game Bar, which is some added gaming features, as well as an ultra-wide aspect ratio option. For those of you fans of ultra-wide aspect ratio, you can do that on this panel, and the others, I believe, as well, which is amazing to have a panel this large and have an ultra-wide aspect ratio. You'll have black bars on the top and bottom, but you'll get that wide angle, which is pretty amazing. Something I don't know why they don't advertise more. Samsung is excellent in terms of gaming. I did not have an opportunity to put it into game mode, as I didn't have a console hooked up to it. I'm curious to see if its game mode changes as Samsung's have in the past to keep the input lag down. The screen uniformity seemed very good. I did not notice any dirty screen effect in any of these panning shots. And even though it has the wide viewing angle, it is best enjoyed directly in front, not standing above. I noticed colors didn't fade off angle, but then you would see some blooming. Otherwise, very clean, very bright. We won't know the full numbers until it's calibrated in regards to its peak luminance or its contrast ratio, which I'm always curious. I would love to see the contrast ratio on mini LEDs. I would love to see that get, higher rather than, with what's been happening in the past with contrast ratios getting less and less. This is their flagship. And it's a very cool thing to see an LED this size look so minimalist. I do love the center stand, but I was very impressed with it. Really looking forward to see how it behaves calibrated. And we will go back, we will follow up and get a real sense of what it's capable of. Mini LED for me is going to be something that's going to have to mature. TCL is going to be on their 3rd generation. This would be Samsung's 1st generation. However, Samsung has done micro LED for quite a few years now. So we'll see how it goes. But I'd love to see blooming completely eradicated. That's just my expectation, and a much higher contrast ratio. But for first day, no panel break-in. It's only a few hours out of the box. I was pretty impressed with it. LEDs will always have my heart in regards to peak brightness and HDR. We'll show you the back of the panel again, get a little closer look at those speakers. See, they do move in. But very clean design. Again, doesn't wobble. The speaker placement is interesting. I don't know how that would perform back around the display, but very, very impressed with it. Come on, there you go. Again, any of the pop-in that you see, I didn't notice any real black crush, which again is always the balance between black crush and blooming for mini LED, more so than LED. I didn't notice any of the graying out either in regards to blooming being mitigated, that they were graying out. You can see the black level there in the top left-hand corner. So a very good first impression. Again, this is only an introduction and first impression of Samsung's latest flagship. Such a long title, Qled Mini LED Neo. But very, very impressed with it. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you looking mini LED? Are you looking for the new improved OLEDs? What are your thoughts? Are you going to go with the Z9J, which we'll see here also in a month or so? Are you ready for the new technology? Or are you going to go with other technology as it matures? All right, guys. Thank you as always. Special thank you to Robert and Wendy Zohn. Take care.